We are live. Hi everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kuskus if you're new here. And this is the Get Ahead family. On this channel, I share insights on how to migrate abroad through jobs and through studies. In today's video, I have brought a seasoned international teacher who started off in Nigeria and has traveled across the world teaching. Okay, so she's the best person for this information if you're looking to teach abroad. If you're a teacher in your home country, in Nigeria, in other parts of Africa, or you're not a teacher but you're interested in teaching abroad, all of you, this video is for you because she's going to give us all the insights we need on how to qualify to become a teacher, how to, transfer your qualification from your home country to UK or US or, other parts of Europe that you may be interested in. And I'm going to be asking questions. And if at the end of this video you feel like your questions are not answered, please drop it in the comment section. At least I know her. I will send your questions to her. And I'm not going to talk too much because I want her to introduce herself. Her name is Janet, and she has a channel called Diaspora Doodle. So the handle on the screen is her channel. So, of course, we're not going to exhaust everything about teaching abroad in this video because that would be too long. So when you're done watching this video, run straight to her channel, subscribe, turn on post notification, and even watch the existing videos on that platform. So thank you so much, Janet, for taking out the time to, come on this live video with us. I don't want to tell them what has happened the past. I don't want to give any background because they will not understand, but both of us know what has cost us to get to this point. So thank you so much for taking our time to, dish out this information, something that people usually pay for. You are willing and ready to give it out for free. So we are very grateful. Okay, so introduce yourself to our dear audience.
Hello everyone, my name is Janet and I have a YouTube channel called Diaspora Doodles. I'm an international school teacher. I'm a Nigerian. I was born in Oshodi, but I've traveled the world, 9 countries, 6 continents, and teaching has changed my life immensely and it can't be.
From Oshodi to the rest of the world, if you know. I watched, you mentioned about how Nigeria is global, especially music and fashion designers. There's a fashion designer, Vicky James. She's actually from my place. That's why I'm very proud of her. She made a YouTube video from Ajegunle to Forbes.
That's what we want.
Amazing and inspiring story. So that's your own, is from Oshodi to the rest of the world. Okay. So you've mentioned that you have, teaching has changed your life, and you mentioned, I think, 9 continents, 10 countries. Please, because some people may not understand, like, why all these countries? This is just teaching, or how does it work? Give us a brief background or overview of your professional experience so far, so that we can really understand your competence in this industry.
Okay, so I graduated with a degree in microbiology from Ambrosali University. I was supposed to go to Unilag, but Unilag gave me the heartbreak that they are very good at dishing out to people. I was 2 points short, and I just decided that, okay, I'll go to another university. Unfortunately, there was ASU strike for 2 years when I graduated. I've dated myself now. So people can find out when we had the 2-year ASU strike. So I went to Ambrosali University because it's a state university and they were still open for a bit before they joined the strike. And then I graduated. I wanted to go on to do medicine, to go back to medicine since I already had a microbiology degree. But then I fell in love. I started having I had a young family. I started having children, and I didn't want to leave my children on their own while I was chasing medicine all over again. So I went into a school in Port Harcourt, and I volunteered. I volunteered for about 7 months, and then I decided that I was King Kong in the teaching industry. I felt like
during this, when you went to volunteer, you were teaching.
I was teaching, volunteering. Yes, they put me in the classroom to volunteer, but I'm a bit of an energetic bunny kind of person. So I was always everywhere. And then they decided, look, let's give her a class so that her energy can be channeled somewhere. So I volunteered. But as I was volunteering, I was now feeling very cocky and I started applying to schools outside of Nigeria, thinking, okay, I can do this because it's a British curriculum school. I'm going to use this experience to go somewhere else. But no school will take me. Yeah, because I didn't have the qualifications. I didn't really have the experience, even though I was too enthusiastic and I thought that the small experience I had was enough.
Mm.
So I was looking at the US, UK, all those big boy countries, but then one tiny country called Venezuela allowed me to come in and teach in their country. So I went to Venezuela. After Venezuela,
So wait, so you stayed in Port Harcourt and you were
yes,
just sending out job applications to different countries.
yes. Have you seen that confidence? Oshodi confidence, I call it maybe.
What year was this, if you remember?
Oh my God, that must have been 2005,
Hmm.
2000, yeah,
You, in
2000.
fact, your confidence is out of this one because back then, what did we know? Like literally, how old? I don't even remember how old I was then.
Facebook
Wow,
wasn't
that
even
was
a
so
thing.
audacious of you.
Yeah, Facebook wasn't even a thing. So I was there trying to network and get myself out there. So yeah, and eventually I got this job in Venezuela and I went. Yeah, the rest is history. From Venezuela, I went to the US because my eye was still on the big boy countries as usual.
Hmm.
But in Venezuela, I was able to get my master's degree. And then from there, UK, Oman, Norway, Netherlands, Egypt, Myanmar, Australia, yeah,
That's 10.
Spain.
I'm going
Because I
to I'm
decided,
going to repeat then. Let me see if I have good memory.
okay,
UK, US, Netherlands, Oman,
Norway,
Venezuela, Norway, Egypt,
Egypt,
Spain.
Spain,
8 countries. There's one country I just don't know how to pronounce. That's
Australia.
no,
Did you add
Australia. Yeah. No,
Australia?
one last country.
Myanmar.
Myanmar. Where is that country?
It used to be Burma. And the reason why I went to Myanmar was because my grandfather was in the war. He was a medic in the Second World War. So in my head, I felt there was one more country I needed to conquer. So I went to Myanmar to see. It was actually for myself. I wanted to see where he was, all the places that he was, and
Where is Myanmar, please?
it's in
Give me
Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia.
It's not.
Wow.
It's in the axis of Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos. That corner of
Okay.
the world.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. So from Port Harcourt, Nigeria to Venezuela to the US to the UK, you were not even a qualified teacher.
I was not a qualified teacher until I got to the US. I got my US teaching license in 1 year that I spent in the US. But I, they were treating me like a professional because I applied because I was teaching primary in Venezuela. They allowed me to teach elementary in the US because I now had my master's. Venezuela helped me get my master's.
What was your master's on?
Education.
Great. Was that
Yeah.
like more of teaching, like educational
No,
teaching or
a master's is an
policy?
academic. Yeah, it's an academic qualification. So, but in my head, I felt, after a bachelor's degree, the
The
next
next thing is
a
master's
master,
degree, just
my
like every other
Nigerian brain.
person thinks. I remember making a video on this channel to say, don't do a master's degree. And a lot of people, some people, they will not even come down to watch the video. They will start dragging me, hey, because you've had masters. The
No,
video was just saying that if you want to get into a professional career, a master's degree will not get you there. It is a professional certification
that you
that will
need.
get you there. So you
Yeah.
went to do master's degree.
I went to do master's degree, but the school offered me courses, and in my naivety, I chose a master's degree. I thought, yeah, a master's degree is the logical
next
next step.
next best thing to do.
Exactly. So if I had known that, I allowed them to pay for my teaching qualification, but I chose a master's. So after that, I went into the US. The
Mm.
US allowed me to come in because I had a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in education. You can do that in the US. However, you still need your teaching license. So in the 1 year that I was there, I had to get my teaching license or else my visa would have been revoked. So it was a race
Mm.
against time. I had to get my teaching license because I was there on like a probationary kind of contract. Even though it was an H1B contract visa, I still had to get my contract before the end of the year. So, but then I found out that the pathway to citizenship in the US is quite tedious. And I didn't want it, I didn't want the uncertainty of having to go through a lottery system. I wanted a sure, a sure pathway where I know, okay, if I spend 5 years here, then I know what the next thing would be. So I left the US and I went to the UK, and I got my PGCE in the UK.
Wait, wait. Now, are you saying that? I don't know, because back then things must have really changed between then and now. So as at then, you were able to get a teaching job in the US without getting a teacher's qualification. But when
Yes,
you were there, you had to get the teacher's qualification
I
within
had to.
1 year. Do you
Yes.
know if that policy has changed?
They still do something similar now because of the shortages, but only because of the shortage. There's a 65 million teacher shortage around the world. So many countries are scrambling for the few people who are willing to even
Willing.
teach. Yeah.
So that means anybody who is not a teacher, as long as you're a graduate and you know what you're doing, you have even a little experience, you can actually just get in, and then while you are there, you get your qualification.
Yes, they do the same thing in the UK. You come in as an unqualified teacher, and then within 4 years on the unqualified teacher visa, you get your QTS and your teaching qualification in the UK as well. New
Take
Zealand and
us,
Australia.
let's take you back. Now,
Yes.
you've told us Venezuela, you've told us USA. Now, tell us about the UK journey.
Woo! So the the UK journey was quite tough because when I arrived in the UK, I in my again my confidence was now running ahead of me. I thought they would allow me to teach because now I had my US license, but they were like,
Exactly.
no, I didn't have QTS, so I had to get my QTS,
What is QTS
qualified teacher status
in the UK?
in the UK.
This qualified teacher status, what does it take, or how did you get it? Because you already have experience like teaching in the US, having a US license. So, how did you get this now?
So at the time, now if you have a US teaching license, you can just they will change it for you straight away. But at the time when when all this was happening, the UK
Mm.
was suffering a shortage, but it was not desperate yet. So
Mhm.
um because in the UK, after you get your license, you have something called an NQT year. That means the year after you qualify to be a teacher. I didn't do that in in the US because I left. So when I came to the
Mm.
UK, I had to sort of start the whole process all over again, and I got a PGC. But I was happy to do that because the US license expires, the UK license does not expire. And I wanted something that I didn't have to be renewing and renewing and renewing all the time. If you have your QTS, you have your QTS. In the US, when you have your teaching license, you have to keep going back every year. And one state license cannot be used in another state.
In
You
the
have,
US.
yes, you have to maybe write exams or exchange it, or it's a long process. I didn't want that. The UK teaching license is sort of like a gold standard all around the world. If you come to Europe with a UK teaching license, you can exchange it straight away. You don't have to write any exams. If you come from Nigeria to the UK with your PGDE and your TRCN, you can exchange it straight away for a QTS.
Wait. You know that I'm not a teacher. All these
Okay.
acronyms, I don't understand. What is PGD? What's TRC?
Okay, so a PGDE is a postgraduate certificate in education. It's your teaching license, and
In Nigeria.
a PGDE in Nigeria is a postgraduate diploma in
In
education.
education.
The exact counterpart of it in the UK is a postgraduate certificate of
In
education.
of education. Okay, that's the
So,
PGDE.
yes, but if you do the PGCE without a QTS, you can't teach. You still have
So
to.
which one is QTS again? So in the UK you need two things.
You need two things. Yes,
PGCE and QTS.
with QTS. Yes,
With QTS. In Nigeria you need PGDE
and TRCN.
and TRCN. So TRCN is the equivalent of QTS.
Yes. So that's why some people can exchange it straight away when they come to the UK, but not everybody.
So who are the people that can exchange straight away?
Oh, math teachers, science teachers, art teachers,
This is
modern foreign languages.
discrimination. Are you saying that if I'm a government, if I'm a humanities teacher, like
Yes.
this is discrimination? But let me calm down. Maybe it is not. Let me listen to you.
It's because of their shortage. So because of they have the shortage, especially in those areas, they have a shortage in all subjects, especially in secondary and further education. But because they were trying to sort of work through their shortage, they dropped some requirements for people from Nigeria, Ghana, India, English
Mm.
speaking countries who were not allowed before. Because in my time we were not allowed. You had to come and do the whole course all over again and pay the money. But now they allow those people to just exchange it straight away, especially in those subjects, to sort of buffer the numbers in that sector.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to come back much later in this video for you to tell us how to go about that exchange process.
Of course.
But as a, as an African, a Nigerian, a foreigner teaching abroad in different countries, I want you to share your challenges, because some people may be watching and they are teaching in their home countries and they are scared that, oh, I don't want to, like, when fear of the unknown, you don't know
Yeah.
what's out there, and they're just trying to stay in their comfort zone, but deep down in their heart they actually want to teach abroad.
Yes.
So share your challenges and probably how you overcame or coped with these challenges to become the successful international teacher that you are today.
I like the way you say that. I'm just a lowly teacher, but yes, I understand what you mean. So the first challenge I had was knowing what the terms are. I didn't understand the terms, and this is rooted in the fact that every school is not a schools are not monoliths. They are a representation of the country or the place that they are planted or they are built in. So the children who attend the schools are people who live in that neighborhood, who live in that country. They have something, they know the culture, and that comes into the school with them. If you're coming from Africa or India or any other part of the world, you're coming from a different culture. So the first thing you need to do is learn the culture. I always tell people, go out, meet people, talk to people, go join maybe a choir group or something, because in your interactions with those people you get to hear the language, because it's not the language we speak that they speak. They came to Africa, they taught us one type of language, but then they speak a different kind of language when they go. It's not slang, but it's the language has evolved, so
It's
you need
more
to get
polished. The one they speak
exactly.
is polished.
Is it polished? Not
Or
really.
Queen's
Not
English.
really. We are the ones who speak the Queen's English because that's
Queen's
what we were
English.
speaking back then. But now
Yeah.
they say things like in it and all those kind of things, and it just comes into the school with them, and you have to get
Used to
uh,
that.
yeah on with the lingo. So you get the culture, you understand the nuances. You don't take things literally, and you'll be fine. And then you need to get the CPDs, the qualifications, because education is very organic. It doesn't stay still. You have to keep
Mm-hmm.
up with the new trends in education, and it will really help. There are lots of CPDs that anybody who wants to work in the diaspora can do. And
Please, you want to CPD? I know, but somebody watching might not know what is CPD.
so it's continuous professional development. So they believe that even though you've gotten your teaching license, maybe you got your teaching license 3 years ago, for instance, education has moved forward. I'll give you a good example. Remember what happened in 2020, where everybody was at home, locked to the screen, we couldn't see our neighbors and
Yeah.
all of that. Before that, education was different. As soon as that happened, now technology has entered the classroom in a way that we didn't know we could use it in the classroom before. A lot of children are suffering from the setbacks because of that 1 year. So for us around the world is 1 year, but if you think about it, it's really 2 years, two
Mm-hmm.
academic years that we're eating into. So children are behind; they have gaps. So anybody who wants to be in education needs to be up to date on how to help those children. You need to get your head around the curriculum, how the curriculum has evolved, how everything has changed within the last 5 years in education, how teachers nearly lost their mind, but now we now have technology at our fingertips that we didn't know by before that time. So yeah.
But do you, from your experience, would you say that it is easy for a teacher to have a full-time teaching job and also, take these professional certification courses? The
Yes.
routine, the schedule, do you think it is easy to combine both?
Yes, if you work in the diaspora, it's a law. Well, in Europe, not in the US. In the US, you have to find a way to do your CPDs. You have to find a way to find time for it. But in Europe and other parts of the world, you're given 2 hours of planning time. So you can put your CPDs in 1 hour, and then planning your lesson plans and resources in the other hour. In Spain, where I am, for every 4 hours you teach, you have 1 hour of lesson planning. So if you teach 40 hours, you have 5 hours of lesson planning each.
Okay, that's very interesting. Thank you so much. What other culture shock did you experience? Tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly. Tell us now, so that people that are coming, some of these things may have changed. The world may have evolved, but we're discussing based on your experience. What do you think is good about teaching abroad, or what were those encounters that you feel like, oh, even my worst enemy, I will not wish them this.
Okay, so the first thing is that you will learn new things, new concepts. You're now a teacher who would understand your home country way of teaching, the methodology in your home country, and the new methodology in the new country, which means that your experience is now varied. You know how to attend to children from a lot more places, diversity in the classroom, that sort of thing. Now the so that's the good. You learn a new thing. You become a real learner instead of just a teacher. The bad is that you don't really have enough time to do that. You have to hit the ground running, especially
Running.
if you're a teacher in your country and you come in here as a teacher, they expect you to do the job that they've hired you to do. So it might be cumbersome for some people. Time management is a problem, and in the diaspora, they have this thing where they are very time conscious. Time is money. Unlike other cultures where we look at the human side of things, and you might be running late, but what you're really doing is you're communicating with someone in your community, and all those kind of things. So people might not really frown too much. But here, if you've been hired to do a job, they want you to
You
do
have
it
to do the
perfect.
job.
They don't care whether you know or you don't know. You shouldn't have applied if you didn't know what to do. And if you didn't know what to do, you should be able to find a way to help yourself by getting CPDs. The
Mm.
ugly part of it is that sometimes they don't even give you the chance to show what you can do, that you can they already have preconceived ideas that, oh, you're from that part of the world. That means
You
you
can't
don't
do it.
you don't know how to do the job. And so you end up having to prove that yes, I can do it. And it's a lot more stressful. It feels like you're flying to where other people can stroll into,
Mm.
because they don't expect people who look like this in certain spheres, especially in education, especially in international schools or in the diaspora. So even the parents, you're working against the parents, you're working against the children, you're working against the culture, and you have to do double the work to prove to people. Unlike some other people, maybe a European comes to do the same job, they automatically give them the grace that, oh, there she's
Benefit of doubt.
yeah, that person is supposed to be there because of what she looks like. But you, what are you doing here? Are you lost? That sort of thing. You're supposed to be
Hey.
with the mop and the bucket, and that's where we want you to be. So now you have to prove to them that actually I have things up there, and this is what and it takes a lot of time to prove to some people, and some people it's unconscious bias. You can never prove to them that you're good. You just have to keep a straight head. Yeah.
So, based on your experience, how would you say you've taught in Nigeria, you've taught in the US, Venezuela, Australia, Netherlands, Spain? How, what has been your perception of how the students embrace, or students' attitude, or should I say pupils, because now they are kids. How, what has been the children's attitude towards black teachers? Like you're a black teacher. What has been their attitude towards you when they first see you in class? Is it like, no, I don't want to talk
They
to
run
you?
away. Some start crying, some run away. I've been at a school where the parents all got up and walked out of the classroom as soon as I welcomed them into the class. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my classroom. This year we're going to, and they were all up and they were walking away. I was ready to go and pack my bags and leave. I was like, okay, I'm too good for this. I'm going. But I like what the head of school said. It's a woman, Dr. Omneya. She said, "This is the most qualified person on my staff. She's the most experienced. She's been to 6 different countries. She ticks every single box. If you want to take your child out of the school, that's fine, but we're not getting rid of her."
Wow.
Those are the kind of heads of schools that I work with. Now, because she said that, I stayed, even though it was a
Mhm.
very difficult year.
Because you knew she had your back.
She had my back. The teachers had not all of the teachers had my back, because when the parents were picking at every single thing, because if they couldn't get rid of me because of that demonstration at the beginning, it means that they had to find things that I was doing wrong every time. And so they felt that if the more reports they sent to the head of school, then the more they will see that I'm not supposed to be there, which made me work extra hard that year. But at the end of the year, all of them were clamoring to bring their children into my classroom the next year. And I was now smiling. And after I gained their trust and their
Yes, yes.
admiration, I left.
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
No, I just felt like, okay, tick. I've changed people's minds here. I'm an ambassador. So I've done my ambassador
Yeah.
work and
At
I'm
least
leaving.
next time when they see a black teacher, they won't automatically jump into conclusion like you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, school hired 3 more African teachers after that year. So yeah,
Amazing. That's why you're doing the work that you're doing. You are doing the Lord's work. Guys, please go and follow Diaspora Doodles on YouTube. Search for it right now. Subscribe. If you want to be a teacher, I can't even be telling you based on this, what you've heard. Does it not make sense? Don't you like it? You want to be a teacher? Should I be begging you to do the right thing? Follow who know road, oh. I don't talk my own. So tell us about the children. How at the beginning it's a surprise, they don't accept it, but how do you bring them around? How do they come around?
I just do what I do naturally. I don't force them. I just keep, you sort of have this, I'm not forcing you, you are there and I'm here and I'm just going to continue being a teacher in the classroom. But in being a teacher in the classroom, I'm being very observant of the children who need more scaffolding, children who need more help. I have a team around me because I always have a TA, maybe 2 TAs. It depends on the kind of class I have. If I have more special needs children in my classroom, I will have more TAs in my classroom. And I work very closely with my TAs. It doesn't matter if they have unconscious bias or not. I make sure that I befriend them because that sets the tone for the class.
Mm,
I try to understand from their point of view that if a stranger comes into my country, my village, and tries to tell me what
what
to
to
do,
do?
I might have the same idea of, oh, who are you and what are you bringing? So because I have that at the back of my mind, I'm a little bit gentle in my approach with them, but stern but
Mhm.
gentle, if you know what I mean. I know what I
Yeah,
want. This is what I want because if everything comes down, I'm the teacher in the classroom and it's my head on
absolutely.
the top, but I'm going to be gentle in my approach of trying to get you to see why I need you to do this. And gradually, the children start to see that the relationship between myself and my TA or
Mm,
TAs is really, really beautiful. We play good cop, bad cop. We become like sisters or, siblings.
mm.
And gradually, the children start to understand, oh, she's not so bad after all.
Wow.
This would have
Has
taken us
has this
probably
has this been the same experience everywhere, or are there some countries that are better than others?
no,
The same.
yes, some worse than others.
Now, I understand that it might even be difficult for some employers to hire black teachers. But what the head teacher did, or the head of school did in that other school that said, this is my best qualified teacher, and if you don't want, take your children out. Of course, that's not how every other person would act. But
No.
do you see an attitude where they protect black teachers?
I feel the schools have this drive to, because like I said, a school is the representation of the community in which it's established. So many head teachers want to have teachers who represent the student body. So if they have black African children at a school, they want to hire African teachers.
Okay.
However, the problem is that many African teachers don't know what to do to get into these spaces. And that's why I started my channel and my mentoring group to sort of show them what I did from my experience to help them get into the profession.
And that's really amazing. Well done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, talking about helping African teachers to get into teaching abroad. Because of course, I understand what you mean. Like, I live in the UK. If I have a child and my child goes to school and doesn't see anybody that looks like mommy,
Yeah.
like, how would that child feel?
Hard. Hard, because I know how I feel when I walk into a school and I'm the only black face in the
Person.
room.
How much
It's
more? Because I work in a university, and we had a diversity and inclusion session because we have that, and people even noted that during recruitment period, when they have like all these open days where parents bring their children to come and ask questions, what's this department, that in the survey it was shocking that in the survey, after the open day survey, they noted that students are more likely to enroll in a university when they see lecturers or staff that are similar to them. So if I am Asian and I come to this university and I don't see any Asian staff, or I see very
yes.
few, I'm not enrolling.
No.
And these are adults. How much more children?
Children. Yeah. People feel that children are resilient, but you don't know that they don't want to hurt their parents. They know their parents are struggling and they have to go into school because there's childcare problems. Parents want them to go into school, so the child is not going to object. And our African children are sort of subdued. They're not out
I
there.
can't say,
So
mommy, I don't like that school, or mommy, I don't feel like
no.
going today, or mommy, they're bullying me or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Let's not be
That's
emotional.
sad.
Now,
It is quite
because you're
sad.
in the business of doing the Lord's work, trying to get lots of teachers, African teachers to be precise, to teach abroad. Tell us, I teach in Nigeria, but I don't know my left from right on how to start my teaching abroad journey. Please,
Yes.
though, let me read the question so I don't miss it. I am a teacher in Nigeria. What do I do to qualify to teach in the UK for primary school teachers and secondary school teachers? Please take us from the UK, and then you can tell us any other European country based on your experience.
I always advise people to get the UK qualification. If number one, especially if you're from an English speaking country, get the UK qualification. You can always exchange it for any other country. Make sure that it has a QTS. So if you're going to go to the UK, please don't go for a master's. Go in and do a postgraduate certificate of education with QTS. It's a little bit more expensive because the UK they like to break it down to they'll tell you do PGCE is 7,000, do PGCE with QTS is 9,600. Please choose the one with QTS because that means you're a qualified teacher. A PGCE on its own is an academic qualification. They will not let you teach
Hmm. So it has to be a PGC with
with
QTS.
QTS. Now, if you have that, then you start applying. But on your application form, you need to make sure
No,
that you
no, no,
cover.
no, wait. How do we get this PGC and QTS?
There's a government website called gov.uk. And if you go on gov.uk and you type in get into teaching, it will just throw the website open for you to get in all the information you need on getting into teaching. You'll be
Hmm.
assigned a mentor, and that mentor will take you through all the steps that you're supposed to take. Now, if you don't want to go through that because you want someone who understands your culture and understands how to get into it, that's what we are here for, to show you what we through our own experience of getting into teaching. Now, when you get onto that website, it will tell you that there are different routes to get into teaching. You can either have a Bachelor of Education in with QTS. It has to have QTS, or you have a postgraduate. So if you already have a degree and you just want to
Hmm.
do the 1 year PGCE, then you do a postgraduate certificate of education with QTS. I cannot emphasize this enough. It
It
has
has to have QTS.
QTS because QTS means that you are a qualified teacher. It's qualified teacher status. Without
Hmm.
that, you are not a qualified teacher. And if you're not a qualified teacher, you cannot enter the classroom. Even though now they've dropped the shortage, I still advise people to still get the QTS because you don't know any, if someone will come tomorrow that knows no just
Yes,
change the whole.
absolutely.
So get that, and you know that you are safe, you are on safe ground. Get the QTS, and then you register with the teacher registration body in the UK. Then that way you are now ready to do anything, to go on websites to get into teaching around the
What
world.
what is the teachers registration body called?
It's like TRCN in Nigeria.
So it's
Yeah.
just like teachers registration,
Yeah. Agency. TRA.
teachers
Registration
registration.
agents.
I'm writing this in the description box so that they will not say I
Yes.
didn't hear.
Yes, please. Then, if you don't want to do the B.Ed and you don't want to do the PGCE, for instance, you are already a qualified teacher in your country, then you just need the assessment only route to QTS. So, for instance, if you're a Nigerian, you already have your PGDE and your TRCN. All you need to do is either go on the same website where it tells you to get into teaching and shows you all the
Mhm.
different routes, put your qualification in. There's a link I'm going to leave with her. It's called it's like the equivalent of NARIC, but it's solely for teachers. They call it ENIC. And you
Any.
put your qualifications in there. It will tell you that you are a qualified, it will show that how it will show that you are a qualified teacher in your country and you meet the requirements, and they will change it straight away if you are a maths teacher, a physics teacher, science teacher, chemistry teacher, biology teacher, all the sciences, technology, computer science, art teachers, and modern foreign language teachers. That's Russian, German, French, and Spanish.
What of English teachers?
No,
Not part of it. Okay.
no, no. Um,
No. Yes,
Modern
please
foreign
go ahead.
languages,
So you
classics.
go to ENIC. If you're already a qualified teacher in your country, like if you're in Nigeria and you have PGD and TRCN or
Yes,
TRCN.
if you have a PGC and TRCN, and you are in, you teach one of those subjects, then you get an automatic conversion. They convert it to QTS for you straight away.
So
If
this
you
ENIC will convert it.
Yes, they'll convert your TRCN to a
Please,
QTS.
what's the website?
I will
Okay,
leave
you
it.
send it to me.
I
Yes.
will send it to you. Yeah. So if you don't
Wow.
have any of those, but you still want to teach and you still want the qualification that will open doors to you all around the world, then you have to do the assessment only route to teaching. That means I'm a qualified teacher. I don't want to go through another year of studying again. I don't want to do any more studying. Come and assess me. Come and see what I can do, and I will meet your criteria for being a teacher. And you will just hand me my QTS like that without any exam. It's not an exam, it's a portfolio. It's more like, you know how art teachers have to gather a portfolio to show what they can do. It's the same thing for teaching. You gather a teaching portfolio, and the thing that you need to work towards is on the gov.uk website. It's called a teaching standard.
Hmm.
So the
So
UK,
now you're saying there are three ways of getting qualified in the UK. First
So
way is get your PGCE with QTS.
you can do that. The first way is the Bachelor of Education in whatever subject you want to be. So a B.Ed,
Okay.
that's the 4 year route, or three in the UK.
But that's for people who don't have a degree, yeah?
That's for people who don't have a degree at all.
Or if you already have a degree in any subject whatsoever, you can
Yes,
do the PGCE with QTS in the
yes, and
UK.
it's for 9 months.
9 months.
And it
Now, if
doesn't
you
has a time when it starts. It starts in September. It runs with the school year. You can't come in at any other time to say I want to do a PG. No, no, no. It runs because you're going to be training in the classroom, and it runs.
ah, okay. So now, but if you are already qualified and registered with your country's Teachers Registration Council,
Yes,
and you have your postgraduate in certificate in education, you
yes,
can apply to convert it
yes,
to a UK qualification
yes.
through ENIC.
Through ENIC.
You're going to give us the website.
I'm going to give you the website.
Now, who are the people that are doing this only assessment only route?
So, if anybody who is a teacher in their home country, you are registered with you are qualified to teach in your country. That means you're registered to teach in your country. Not just, how in some countries, if you finish secondary school and you don't have anything to do, you go and teach. No, no, no. You have to be registered. That means, for example, in Nigeria, you have to have your TRCN. If you don't have
Hmm.
your TRCN, you cannot do the assessment only route. And you need to get some your PGCE. If you have a PGCE, you can do the assessment only route, that sort of thing. It's just so that you can get your QTS. So that way,
Okay, so the people that are doing on this assessment only routes are the people that are not science teachers. Those courses that
yes,
you did not mention.
yes, those courses I didn't
Ah,
mention. And they'll tell them, sorry, we don't. Our shortage in that area is not so bad. Go and pay. Go and pay.
so this assessment is paid.
It's paid.
What websites do they
Gov.uk.
use?
Get into teaching.
Oh, okay, okay. Please, I hope you guys are noting down. I'm asking these questions because I need you watching to really understand what's going on. And if you think you've missed anything, rewind this video, watch it, get all the facts, write them down, check the description box for the website. And then if you still have a question, drop it. If you feel like, oh, maybe you don't want to drop it here because Janet is not here and you may not meet her, go to her channel, drop it. She's on YouTube, like she's very passionate. She will help you. She will answer this question. Watch her video, drop a comment, and she will answer. See, I'm really excited because I've always wanted to share information about how to teach abroad and I've not been able to get. So I'm so excited. I feel so emotional right now that you're here offering this information for free. For free. And Janet also has a WhatsApp platform where she, coaches people who want to teach abroad. So you know why you should go to her YouTube channel and ask her for WhatsApp now. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, now we know how to qualify. No more questions. Oh, because how should you know how to qualify now? We have qualified. Okay, before we move on, can all these qualifications be gotten while they are in Nigeria or in their
Yes,
home country? Or do they have to
yes.
come to the UK?
No, because some people don't want to pay that IHS fees, and I don't blame them. Please, we need
It's
to
too
keep our money
expensive.
in the
1,050,
communities. It's,
1,035 pounds per person.
it's
Why
too much.
now?
So I'm a PGCE mentor with the University of Sunderland. So I'll give you a good example with that. So Sunderland is a university, and you will find them on that Get Into Teaching website on the gov.uk website. They're one of the universities that provide um, like an international route to teaching for teachers who do not want to come into the UK to teach. So you will just find a school in your home country. Please make sure it's a good school. Make sure it's a school where that is credible. Make sure it's a school where you know that it's not just a school that was set up that is it's quite doubtful what they do. If it's a really good school where you can get trained, because you'll be training at that school, and
Is
Sunderland will.
it a university or secondary school that offer this training?
So if you want to teach in a university, you go into a university and then you write to Sunderland. They will send someone out to come and administer the training there. If you want to teach in primary, you go to a primary school in your home country and you either apply for a job there or you volunteer. Sunderland just wants you to be in the four walls of a school so that you can see the practicality of the things that they will be teaching you online. So it's everything is online, and you'll get an IPGCE at the end of your 9 months with
Ah.
IQTS.
So if you're already a teacher
Yes.
and you want to use your school to do this training, does that work?
Yes.
How do they go about it?
So you just go and you ask, first of all, get in touch with the university you want to train with.
Which
So
they are all there on the UK government website, yeah?
yes, and they will charge you about 9,600, between 9,600 to 17,000. There's a range. So get in touch with the one that you know that you're comfortable with. If you want to go with Sunderland, it's 9,600. If you want to go with University of Bath and all the other universities, they are a bit pricier. So it's up to you, whatever you want. Now you get in touch with them, they'll send you the forms and they'll ask you to choose a school where you want to do your training. If you are not in a school, they will ask you to go and speak to a school. If you're
Okay.
already in a school, they will tell you, fine, go and speak to your head teacher, because your head teacher has to be in the know, because there are days where they will need you to do your learning, and your head
Mm,
teacher needs to sign that yes, they agree that you are on this course, and they will give you those times off. It's just so that everybody's on the same page. It's not
mm,
as if you can't speak to them, but they want it in writing. And then
mm.
you send it back to Sunderland, and then you pay the fees, and your training starts.
And this is for people who don't have a PGD in Nigeria.
No, they don't
But
have
if
it.
you already have a PGD and TRCN, you
Yes,
come to ENIC, that's ENIC website, and
and
you go through the process to convert your qualification to a QTS.
yes.
Do you know how much is involved and how long this process takes?
It's 9 months, and it depends on the university. They will tell you how much they are charging. I know about Sunderland because I it's my university as well, and I'm also a PGC mentor, so I know how much they charge. It's £9,600 if you're
That's
doing
for,
it
so
outside of
for the
Europe.
ENIC process,
Oh, the
how long
any
does it typically take for somebody to be able to start the process of conversion and getting the QTS?
Ooh, it's about 12 weeks if everything is complete. If everything is complete, what I will advise people before you go to ENIC to go and put your documents there, go and certify and authenticate them, because that takes time. Uh, when I try to certify my documents, not for PGC, for going to a different country, because some countries need you to authenticate and certify your qualifications before you come there. It was supposed to take 12 weeks. It took 11 months because my university, for some reason, didn't understand what they wanted them to produce. So, sort out your
That's
home
the university
country.
in Nigeria, yeah?
Yes. So, you understand the culture in your country. ENIC does not understand the culture in your country. You go and sort out your country's part first, get it in your hand, then you can start converting. Because once ENIC starts and then there's a delay, it gets to a
So
point.
you go to Ministry of Education to certify your certificates.
Yes,
Do you go to Foreign Affairs as well?
yes.
What do you tell them at this certification?
Just say you want to submit your documents to a foreign body or a foreign conversion body. They know it's their job. They know what they're supposed to do. That you want,
Exactly what to do.
they know exactly what to do. Once you tell them that you want to certify and authenticate your documents because you want to submit it to a foreign body, they know they'll send you to the department where you're supposed to do it, and everything will be sorted from there. When you get that, then you can start the process with ENIC so that there's no delay, because it times out. If you start the process and it goes beyond the dates that you're supposed to, that they will give you a deadline for when to submit the documents. If the deadline passes, you have to start the whole process again. So I always tell people, sort your country. You understand the culture in your country. Sort that first, then you can bring it to the foreign body to submit.
So you're saying if all things being equal goes well, then within 12 weeks, you should be able to
12 weeks.
convert your country's qualification to QTS.
Yes.
Do you have an idea how much ENIC charges for this?
No.
No. And do you know how many the different documents that they will likely ask for?
For me, I just say certify all your professional documents. So your YX certificate, your degree certificate. If you have IELTS, you don't really need that, but you can just do everything because when they start asking for things, it's better you have it and you give it to them than when they ask for it, you don't have it, and then that causes the delay. It just winds me up when they start sending all those emails, and there's nothing you can do. You can't hasten the other people up. So get one side sorted, then start the other side. Some people are eager, they go on ENIC and they fill out the
Mm.
forms because it's easy to fill out the forms. Then they start battling with the Ministry of Education in Nigeria. In the past few years, because you need your TRCN as well to submit to ENIC because it's one of people. There's been a delay of up to a year because TRCN delays people instead of doing it as fast as they can. I
But
don't,
TLC, and I thought it's just like registration number. If I'm already registered, I can
no,
just.
you have to write an exam. It's just like in the UK, we write a QTS. Well, in my time, I wrote a QTS skills test. So
Mm.
over there, you still have to write a test to
But
do
the
the.
people that already had TRCM would not have any challenge.
No, they will not. Yeah,
Great. Okay.
yeah.
Now, are you saying that if I don't have my QTS status in the UK and I apply for a teaching job, I don't stand a chance?
No, you can get a job because of the shortages, especially in secondary, further education, tertiary education. Even in primary, there are shortages in primary. It's just not as bad as it used to be when I was starting my career. You can apply for the 4-year route to teaching. You can get a 4-year visa where you can teach as an unqualified teacher in the UK without your QTS. As long as you have your TRCN from your country or your PGCE, they
Mm.
will let you teach.
So I should just apply, like, just apply without those qualifications,
Just
without
apply.
QTS.
Just apply. If you don't have your QTS yet, apply.
It doesn't
There are
matter. Just
there are
apply.
some jobs that are specifically for unqualified teacher on the gov.uk website because those jobs they want people in. There's a 65 million teacher shortage. 65 million. Mhm. And more teachers are leaving every day than entering. So yeah, it's
Now,
always
you've told us about the UK qualification, which is very, I'm sure that they understand. If you don't understand or if there are any gaps, just drop a question and then we'll answer it, okay? I remember you saying you always recommend people to write the UK qualification. Tell us about getting qualified in Europe or Schengen area. You work in Spain. So if I get my QTS in the UK, how do I use this abroad?
same thing. Go to the countries. There's a website on every country's like home office page, just like the gov.uk has the Get Into Teaching. In Norway is NOCOS. There's one for Spain. These are the countries where I've worked, so that's what I'm telling you about. So there's one for the Netherlands as well. You submit your UK, if you have UK teaching qualification, for instance, you submit your UK teaching qualification onto this conversion. Is this It's similar to ENIC,
Any care?
and you just submit it. Same process as in the UK. Submit it, make sure you have your TRC, and make sure everything is certified and authenticated, and they will convert it for you and you start working. If you have a Nigerian teaching qualification, it's not a hindrance. You don't have to have a QTS. QTS is only if you want to work in the UK or if you want to use a UK teaching qualification. If you have a PGDE and a TRCN, you can work in Europe. You just need to do your conversion. All they need to see is that you have all the modules it takes to become a teacher, and they will convert it for you and you can work in those countries.
So all I need to do is go to Government of Netherlands website and find their Ministry of Education.
Yes, I can
Or
leave you I can leave you all the links I used when I was converting.
please, it will be our pleasure. That's interesting. Okay, now they have, they know how to get their qualifications or conversions, and they have done all of that, or they're in the process of doing all of that, and they have to apply for jobs. Now, how and where do they access these teaching opportunities?
My personal favorite is test.com.
Wait,
www.test.
so I'm typing where to
Okay.
find jobs. In this description, come to this description of the video and be checking. I'm going to say where to find teaching jobs. Is it in UK or the whole world?
Whole world. Because I work
Wow.
everywhere. I make sure there's no barrier to where I want to work. So yes, I go on the global. This is a global site. So if you
Please
want to
bring
tell
them
me,
on.
so www.tes.com. There's also www.teachaway.com. There's eteach.com. There's gov.uk. Gov.uk.
Our gov.uk. That website has everything.
It does. All the European countries are similar. They make sure that there's one page that every, like when I went to Norway, I didn't have to go to three different websites. I got
Hmm.
my job on one website. I got my house on one that same website.
Nigerian government has left this WhatsApp group.
We will get there by God's grace.
Ami, Ami.
Let's hope. Now they are changing the national anthem. I hope that they change some other things
How
as well.
important is that national anthem as compared to the economic crisis that country is facing? Let's not even go there.
I think they are trying to invoke a sense of patriotism
No,
in our,
no, 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 no.
yeah, because it's,
Exactly.
I like the arise, oh compatriots, because
What is that patriotism do you want?
it gives me goosebumps when I sing that song. Arise, our
And
labor,
that
the
national
labors of our,
anthem was one of the best. Like if you even listen to like football, football
yeah,
competitions, and listen to other people's national anthem, you just be like, "What's this?" When they play
exactly.
Nigerian national anthem, you be like,
You
"Yes."
get goosebumps. Do you know? Because I've worked in several countries, I had to learn the national anthem for me to teach the children in the classroom. For instance,
Ooh.
so I can sing all the national anthems of all these different countries. Like, I was singing the Egyptian one to my son this morning because there's a part of it. It sounds like you're warning the person that if you try me. So I sang that part of it to him, and he was smiling. So because I sing all these different national anthems, when it comes to the Nigerian one, I just feel like,
It's
yeah,
it's something about it, and
no,
that's what they
it
want
just
to
hits
change.
you. But now we've gone to the old one. I'm trying to learn the old one because I I try to teach the children I teach that
Yeah.
national anthem. I try. Miss, where are you from? Nigeria. Are you sure? Yes, I'm from Nigeria. Look at me again. I'm Nigerian. Ah, I said, do you want to hear our national anthem? Just because,
I was always so proud of that national anthem.
just
God, I'm
because.
so heartbroken
In
that
fact,
they're actually changing it.
I used to think in my heart that if these children if they never meet a Nigerian, they meet one today, and
Absolutely.
for the rest of the year, this is a Nigerian that will set the tone that they will always remember. So I used to teach them the national anthem. I used to take more and more into class when we had our international days. Oh, yeah.
Try. Okay, so you've told us about test.com, teachaway.com, dot gov.co.uk, right? Not gov.com.
Gov.uk.
Gov.uk, not co.uk.
No, gov.uk.
Gov.uk. Teach.com.
Teach away.
No, I have teachaway. Okay, it's e-teach. Then
E-teach. Yes.
e-teach.
There's
More? You
e-teach.
have more?
Yes, there's TIE online.
TIE
See, I'm
online.
just my favorite is TESS. Let me tell you why I love
That's the
TESS.
first one I wrote.
Yes, the reason why I love TAS is because it covers the whole globe. It has the Australian website, it has the European website. So if you want to, but if you want to get jobs all in one place, just go to the TES.com instead of the TES.com/AU or TES.com.
Mm,
Norway. No, no, no. Go to the ts.com and you will find jobs all over the world. You find
Wow.
jobs. All my jobs were gotten from TAS. I don't even bother to go to all the others, but I do go to the others just to see what they're doing. Just
Amazing. So you've given us websites to find jobs. I am on this website. I have looked and I've seen several jobs.
yeah,
Please, I want to apply, but I don't want to do a way match. I don't want to just submit random applications that I'll be.
yeah.
I might not even get, unfortunately. They will just go into the sea and get missing. Give me tips to secure teaching jobs when I start applying. As I'm applying for these jobs, I'm getting interviews. Give me tips, please.
You need to make sure that all the target words are in there so that the ATS machine does not kick your CV away. You need to make sure that you have a strong professional summary. You need to make sure that your personal statement is solid, airtight, and that means some words need to be on it. You need to show that you understand what diversity is. Only because there's no classroom in the diaspora that is full of just one ethnic group. It's always usually in just like in a classroom in Nigeria, you will not find
Mm,
a class with only Yoruba people. No, you will find people classrooms with every tribe. And I always tell Nigerians, you are the best people to show that you know what diversity is, because you need to show that you can teach a class of diverse children without having some hang-ups about some and not and other.
mm.
Nigeria has 250 languages. That means at every given time, even in the remote village, some of those classrooms are diverse.
Absolutely.
You can prove that you are able to teach a diverse classroom just by being a Nigerian. I'm biased and I stand by that. You need to
But
show
it's
that
true now. It's
yes,
very true.
you need to show that you are able to teach special needs children. So your CV should show that. You need to show that you are able to differentiate your lessons. So you are the kind of teacher that doesn't just teach one way. When you have a
Mm.
classroom of high ability, middle, low, low, and children with educational health plans, how do you do this? By making sure that you construct your sentences to show that you're currently in the position to do that because of something you're doing in your classroom. You need to show that you have inclusion in you know how to include children, you know how to create you know how to create lessons that will engage children and not keep them bored, because bored children are children who will come into your classroom and misbehave because they're bored. They need to get them, so they can't just be sitting there as if they're in jail.
Mm.
To show that you can assess children, formative assessments, summative assessments, oral assessments, observational assessments. You need to put this all on it. So it's not just generic CV that you need. So
Mm.
I'm not trying to say that other professions do not have their own target words, but in teaching, because you're working in the how do you say vulnerable.
Vulnerable industry.
Yes, because you're working in a vulnerable sector, you need to be particular about the things you put on your CV so that it shows that you can meet these children at the point of their needs. Almost all children after 2020 have some form of learning challenges or the other. They probably lost a lot of learning when the whole world was sitting. We were all sitting in our in our houses learning how to make sourdough. So you need to show that you know how to meet those children and help them cover their learning gaps.
Mm.
You need to show that you are a team member because teaching in the diaspora is not, it's a collaborative job. You need to collaborate with either your TA, your nanny, your fellow colleagues, your line manager. There's a lot of collaboration going on in teaching that you cannot overlook. So your CV needs to show that you can collaborate. You need to show that you're able to have a polite, but you need to show that your conversation with parents and the wider school community is stellar because parents play a huge role in the life of a school. Ofsted would like to see the relationship of the school with parents, or else the school will be marked down. And school heads like to see that you're the kind of teacher who you will stand up and talk to parents without cowering. So they need to see that as well. And that
Tell
also
us
goes.
about Ofsted. A little, a little. What do they do? Who are they? What do they do? And what should teachers know about? People, what the people watching us, what should they know about Ofsted?
Ofsted is basically the police that comes into school to make sure that you're doing the right thing at in the school. They're the Office of Standards and in Education in the UK. They have their counterparts in different countries in the diaspora because they need to make sure that many schools are keeping up to what they're meant to be doing. This office, they come in, they check, they look at everything that you're doing, making sure that you're keeping up to the standards, and they publish their reports.
Hey,
You cannot speak to them, you cannot negotiate with them, you cannot do anything. When you get that letter that Ofsted is coming, people stop sleeping.
oh my
They
God.
start to panic. If there's a new teacher in the school, they will come into that classroom.
Hey.
They
So,
will come
but
into
will
that
you know
classroom.
that this is a member of Ofsted when they come?
Yes, oh yes, they don't hide.
So they will be there while you're teaching.
The thing is, they don't even tell you that they're coming into your classroom. They
Hey.
come into the school, they get the rota, the roster of
And they
teachers,
choose anyone.
and they choose any. They're usually about 4, 5 that come in at once. Sometimes they're three, but usually it's five. You get the call. They call you. It's usually 2, 3 days before they are coming. They come into your school. You get the call, and everybody falls sick. It's not as bad as I'm making it sound, but I just wanted to understand that this is some of the reasons why some schools are reluctant to, especially when they know that their upstairs report is coming up really soon. They're wary of employing foreign teachers because they know the teachers will struggle. And their rating will come down. They don't want their rating to come down. So they make sure that all through the year, they are up to date on everything, which is why they do a lot of mentoring. They do a lot of mentoring, micromanaging, I call it, but it's okay. It's mentoring. And they try to keep everybody up to date so that if they get that phone call that Ofsted is coming, they are ready. When
So
Ofsted
have you
comes,
had an Ofsted personnel in your class before?
yes, I have. My second year of teaching, Ofsted, I had, no, my first year of teaching actually in the UK, Ofsted came into the school. The school where I worked has always been an outstanding school. It's Pitmaston Primary School in Worcester. They've been outstanding from the day I knew them. And that means there's a lot of pressure for them to retain that
That's
rating.
yeah.
So I passed through fire from my very first school, and it has helped me learn because you think that they're being harsh, but they're actually helping you become
Training
a
you.
better teacher because they don't want their rating to go down and all those kind of things. And honestly, when you leave a school that is rated outstanding, you will get jobs.
Opportunities opo.
Silly.
Opo.
Yeah. Because they know you've passed through fire. Especially if they
Wow.
know that you were there during an inspection year. Oh, they will ask you at interview. They'll be
Mm.
not only will they ask you, they'll be looking at you thinking, "Wow,
They'll be
this
like,
person is
so
quite
so how
brilliant."
did it go? How did it
Yeah,
go?
yeah, 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 yeah. I remember one of my interviews. The man asked me, "So it was your first year of teaching?" And you were, yeah. I said, "Yes, it was my first year of teaching." And they came into your classroom. I said, "They came into my classroom."
Wow.
Yeah, they'll look at how you relate with the children. They'll look at how you relate with your fellow staff in the classroom, how you use your support staff, the way your communication. They go through a communication book with parents or emails, and they go through everything. They go through everything. They go through everything. Whew.
Interesting. That's thank you for saying because I've always heard about Ofsted, but really didn't know what they do actually.
We have Ofsted in Nigeria. Just that I don't know how effective they are. Is the schools inspectorate board? I don't know how effective they are.
Actually, my mom and my sister are teachers.
Aha.
So yeah, maybe I'll ask them how far do you guys have Ofsted?
I don't think people are afraid of inspectors in Nigeria.
Nigeria.
In the diaspora, in the UK, they are afraid of Ofsted. In outside of the UK, they are afraid of all the different bodies. Look, I'm afraid of COBIS.
That's the Spanish body.
No, no, no. It's the Council of international schools, board in charge. They're in charge of international schools, and that means your parents would either leave the school or not. You know, that kind of thing. So yeah.
So, but at least based on your experience, is nothing that you can't handle, right? Like once you know what you're doing, then you are good, right?
It's not just me, that's the thing. It's they look at the whole team. They look at the school as one big unit because they believe that the weakest link in the school is where the problems will start from.
Yeah.
Or how do they say it? A chain is only as good as its weakest link. So
But
yeah.
at least you don't want to be that weakest link.
No, everybody's striving because they will tell you which teacher brought the mark down. Yeah.
Jesus.
They will
Is
tell
it
you what
serious?
class they went into, where they saw the things that they felt was not good enough. So not only
Oh my God.
is the school seeing that you are the one who brought them down, the whole
So they
country is,
can actually sack you.
yes. The whole country is seeing it because they publish it. It's on the government website. They publish it as
When
well.
they
So
publish this report, will they include the teacher's name?
no, thank God for that. Data protection
Before pay,
protects
as
us.
in, I
But
beg you.
but the school will know because by the time they
Mm.
start describing everything, we know who they're talking about, you know, that kind of thing. So
Wow. So people have to, stay, be in their
on
best
top of their game, yeah,
top of their game. Thank
yeah.
you so much. See, I can't even thank you enough. We've been talking for more than an hour, and this
I've
is
enjoyed
going
it.
to be a gem. Guys, if you're watching this and you know anybody that may benefit from this video, please share it with them. So I asked you for, things to include in the CV, and you gave us lots of target words. You gave us diversity, inclusion, safeguarding. You need a strong professional summary. Guys, I wrote down everything in the description just so that
Yeah.
if you missed anything, you come and check. So I wrote good communication skills with children and parents. I wrote you must be a collaborative team member. You must be able to teach special needs children and help them cover their learning gaps. I did try.
Yeah.
You must
In
be able
fact,
to create engaging lessons for children in the classroom. You must be able to differentiate lessons based on children capacity, able to teach. So, is there any other thing, any other skills that you think people? So, my question was, are there like other relevant skills that intending teaching applicants should gather? I think maybe you should tell us more about the CPD now.
yes, I was just going to say CPD. CPDs are really, really crucial. It shows number one, your ability to it shows that you are a learner because when we go for teacher training, the first thing we learn is that a teacher is a continuous learner. I mean, they hammer that into our head. How can you inspire children to be learners
Mm,
or good learners if you're not a learner yourself? The only way for you to prove that you're a learner yourself is by doing CPDs to keep
mm,
yourself up to date on the current trends in education. The way I learned how to do division is different from the way they do division now. And if I'm still going with what I learned in the university when I was doing my teacher training, then I'll be cheating the children that I'm teaching by boxing them into a an old-fashioned way of doing things. So CPDs help us to overcome this because it always gives you the current things in education. If you Another thing about CPD is, like, for instance, you're a Nigerian teacher, you're used to the Nigerian national curriculum. You want to know how chemistry is taught in maybe Oman, for instance. You go onto the CPDs and you learn the new way that chemistry is being taught. So that way you are learning the new thing in that curriculum that you are looking at joining. CPDs also help you network because you meet a lot of people on these CPDs and they always have collaborative work that they do
mm.
together. So you're not only learning, you're also meeting people from different parts of the world who are doing these CPDs at the same time as you. Test is a good place for you to get CPDs. Allison is a good place to get CPDs. Future Learn is a good place to get CPDs. Allison is free, so you can go on Allison. Future Learn has free CPDs and paid CPDs, so you have to choose. I always go for the free ones because, yeah, I don't want to spend my money doing anything.
Interesting.
I want
Please,
to
so when they go to these platforms, what kind of CPDs do you recommend they should do?
safeguarding, prevent, GDPR, because you know how in Nigeria you can take pictures with children in your classroom and
Mm.
show people. You cannot do that.
Hey!
You cannot do that in Europe. You'll be fine. You can't even have the children's details on your phone. It's impossible. You cannot. You will not your DBS will not fly. You can get away with it until the day they catch you, and then it's they tell you. For instance, when I got my job in Spain, I got a laptop. Even though I have my own laptop, the school will tell you, no, that's your private laptop, keep it with you. You'll be issued with a laptop, you'll be issued with an iPad. Some schools will go further, they'll issue you with a phone that you use in the school. Because they don't
Yeah.
want you to put personal stuff on.
Mm,
They don't want you to mix business and pleasure. One, because they are protecting you. For instance, if you have a child's details on your phone and then something happens to the child,
very good.
and then they find out that, yeah, no, we don't want to even think about it. So please do not mix, do not, don't have parents WhatsApp on your phone. No, put it on the school laptop, school phones, full school everything. And you will get all these things from when you do your CPDs, because GDPR will cover all of that. There's safeguarding. Safeguarding, I think there's about 27 different safeguarding CPDs that you can do. There's safeguarding for national schools, there's safeguarding for international schools. There's female genital mutilation courses. There's courses on so many different things. And then there's subject specific courses for CPD. So
Mm,
subjects like chemistry, if you want to know more about what's the new thing in chemistry now, you go on there and type in chemistry for key stage 3 or key stage 2,
mm.
key stage 1. Yeah.
Talking about key stage, tell us, because some people may not understand. Oh, I teach a primary school in Nigeria. I teach a JS1 secondary school. I teach SS3.
Yeah.
Please give us the equivalent so that when they are applying for teachers, because I know that when I saw like job descriptions, they will mention things like, oh, 11, age 11 to 13. So
Yes.
give us the equivalent, please. Start from nursery, primary, secondary. Give us the equivalent of that in the UK, please.
Okay, so first of all, if you're going with the British system, not the American system now, and some of the things overlap, but I'm going to go with the British system, and I'm going to give you the equivalent in the
Mm,
Nigerian system. So in the UK system, 0 to 5, they call it early years, and they have their own curriculum. And at the end of the early years, the children have to meet the early learning goals,
mm,
call them ELGs. So, and that's from 0 to 5 years of age. The
mm.
next group is the key stage 1, what we call primary 1 and 2, which is from 5 to 7 or 4 to 7.
5 to 7 is key stage one.
Some children are 4. As long as the child turns 5 in that year when he's in um, primary 1, then that's fine, or reception. Anyway, so the next thing is key stage 2, which is what we call primary 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have lower key stage 2 and upper key stage 2. Lower key stage 2 is primary 3 and 4. Upper key stage 2 will be primary 5 and 6. Because I know some jobs come out and they'll say they're looking for an upper key stage 2.
Mm.
What they're actually looking for is a primary 5 and primary 6 teacher. Then you have key stage 3, which is what we call JS1, 2, and 3. So they call it year 7, year 8, and year 9.
Yes, 7, 8, 9 is our
JS1, 2, and 3.
just 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, so after upper key stage 2,
yes,
we have year 7, 8, 9.
yes. And they collectively call them key stage 3.
Ah.
Yes. So if you're looking for a key stage 3 teacher, you can teach year 7, 8, or 9. In Nigeria, it will be JS1, 2, and 3.
Mm. You guys are really learning. Oh. This is the free information we are dishing out. Thank you so much. This is like I'm even learning. I can even be a teacher now if I want.
Yes, oh
Let
yes,
me
please,
just go and apply. Mister, I even love to teach.
please come. Please come. We need more teachers that look like us so that our children can see us
I
in
completely relate.
see
When I
themselves
was
in
a
us.
master's student. I didn't have any black lecturer though.
It's
It's just
very
that me, I'm already used to always being the black person in the room, so it doesn't really affect me like it affects other people. Sometimes I actually forget my skin color, especially at work. I'm used to being the only black person at work, so it doesn't really affect me. But I know that deep down it affects a lot of people. It
yes, it
affects
does.
their learning and their confidence, their self-esteem, and all of that.
Yes, it does. When I first went to Latin America, not only was I the black person, the only black person in Caracas, in the area of Caracas that I lived, I was also one of the tallest. So people knew, because they're not as tall as we are, and yeah,
Hmm.
so sometimes not only are you the only black person, you might also be the tallest person there or the fattest
Hmm.
person there, like because they don't have our build. So yeah,
Hmm.
some places they don't have our build.
So I want to repeat these key stages. So UK 0 to 5 is early years as
Yes.
early learning goals. And in Nigeria, those are what do we call them? Oh, your light is off. Your let us try. See, 1 hour, 20 minutes. We would wrap up soon. So
Okay.
that is so early 0 to 5. What do we call them in Nigeria, please?
Nursery, kindergarten
Nursery, kindergarten, nursery slash. See me doing types for these people. Oh.
is all for love.
As in, we're doing the Lord's work.
Yes,
And
we are.
then age 5 to 7 is key stage one, and that's primary one and two in Nigeria. Yeah.
Yes.
Lower key stage two is primary three and four.
Yes.
Upper key stage two is primary five and six.
Yes. And
Key collective key
collectively is
stage three.
key
Is,
stage 2.
upper key stage two is primary
Yes.
five and six.
Yes, but collectively they just call all of them key stage 2 because some job adverts will say they are looking for a key
Uh,
stage 2 teacher. So
oh
there's
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah, 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 yeah,
so
yeah.
it will be 3, 4, 5, 6 like that.
So then key stage three is people of year 7, 8, 9, which is JSS 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, and these are 11 to 14-year-olds.
Please, what about SS1?
Aha, we're coming to that one. So that's the next one. SS1, SS2, they call them key stage 4
Key stage
4
4 is SS1,
and SS2.
SS2. Okay. And I think I know this one. College is SS3.
Yes.
I learned this one from you yesterday.
But key stage 2, at the end of key stage 4, sorry, at the end of key stage 4, they write their GCSE exams, and that is when all of them fall sick.
That
So
GCS is like WAEC.
is lower than WAEC.
Okay. So is it what they write in college that is like WAEC?
What they write in college is A levels. It's like WAEC, but higher
Yeah.
than WAEC.
Advanced, yeah.
It's more advanced than WAEC here.
Interesting. Wow, see the way I'm learning. Okay. Thank you so much. See, I have exhausted my questions. You've really given us details. I didn't even think we would last this long, but thank you so much, dear. A lot of people will be watching and be like, she must have a lot of confidence. She has a lot of experience. That's why she's talking like this. I don't know where to start from. What do you have to tell people like this that have finished watching this video? They can make all the qualifications, they can get all the qualifications you've said, they can make these applications. They know that I know what I'm doing, I can do it, but they are still doubting themselves
Yeah.
and being afraid. What do you have to tell them? What should they go home with?
So the first thing, if you are in doubt, go in and volunteer. Spend 7 days, 10 days in a school. See if you like it. See if it's something that you want to do. If you cannot last 10 days, you will not last a year. So dip your dip your feet in and see how it goes because children here are different from children there. So go to a a British curriculum school in Nigeria. See how they treat them. Multiply it by 10, that's what you get over here. Secondly, what you have is enough for you to start on your career ladder.
Absolutely.
Don't let someone push you into a master's. You don't need a master's. You don't, no, you don't need all of that. You need a professional qualification, and it's not as hard as you think. So whatever you have, start with that. You remember, I've started teaching with a bachelor's degree. So you can start with a bachelor's degree. The UK will let you come and work as an unqualified teacher.
Mm.
US will let you work. Some countries will let you work. So go. Some countries, that's all they need. So start with what you have and just do the equivalency of it. When they do the equivalency, then you know where to start. Don't go and start adding qualifications before you've done your equivalency, because you don't know if
Mm.
what you have is enough.
Is
Don't spend,
enough.
we need to be getting more money instead of spending all the money that we have. Third, you have to be confident in yourself. They are human beings. You are a human being.
They
They
don't
don't
buy.
they don't bite, they don't have two heads, and that's the way you can get them at interview. Look, if you submit your CV and they tell you that they want to interview you, you are 90% in. All they want to do is find out if they can work with you.
Hmm.
But saying that you should come and interview, it means they already like you on paper, and that's more than half of your job done. Next, I'm just dishing it out. Oh my
Hmm.
god.
Please,
Next,
we need it.
you have to be a continuous learner. You cannot work in the diaspora without being a continuous learner. It doesn't work. Get those CPDs rolling. It helps you understand the culture. It helps you understand what you're going to meet here. It won't give you the full picture, but at
Hmm.
least it will give you an idea of where to start.
Okay, thank you very much. So, when if they go to tests, would they see like a sample CV or how to write their CVs?
Tests will have sample CVs, but all those things on tests, they are okay. So, test as a website has its own CV, and you just have to put all those things in
Oh,
it. It will ask you questions, and you have to put in answering the questions. It will generate your CV
your
for you.
CV. Okay.
What I do is I try to get them to make their own CVs on their own, because in the process of writing your CV out, when those questions come up on test, you know the way you should put it on. Are you using present tense? Are you using a continuous tense? Are you using a passive voice? Are you using the past tense to show that you are a master of the game? All those kind of things. So yes, it will be fine to do that. So sit down, construct your CV on your own, and I can send a format to you of a real teaching CV, what it needs to look like, and the kind of words that need to be on it, and then they can go from
Ah,
there.
please send to me. Now, do you offer one-to-one consultation services?
I do. I have a WhatsApp group. I have a Telegram group. Although my Telegram group turned into a one-on-one service, because even though everybody's on the group, they still DM me instead, and I just go, "Yeah, it's fine." Maybe they don't want to share their
Mm.
personal journey on the group, which is fine. So yeah, if they want to join my WhatsApp group, all they need to do is send me their CVs by email, and we'll go from there. I'll see what they have on their CVs. We'll see where to start the journey from before they join the WhatsApp group.
Okay, so that means you will give me your email to drop in the description so
Of
that
course.
they can email you their CVs.
Yes,
So
of
you
course.
offer one-to-one consultation, you can
I do.
review their CVs, right?
Yes, I do.
Do you also guide them in the job applications?
I do, but I make sure that they write their CVs themselves. I just sit, I support. It's more
You
of a support,
support.
because when they write their CVs themselves, it's the same thing that is on the CV they're going to use when they interview. So writing it by themselves gives them that idea to always think about what it is that they're writing. So when they sit in front of the interview, it turns to a chatting session, and it's not even an interview.
Absolutely. I
They just
love chats.
they
Hey.
just sit down, relax, and just sell themselves, because it's all about selling yourself and being able to stand your ground, really. So that when parents come to your classroom, you use that same vibe. That's what they want to see.
This has been amazing. Amazing is an understatement. In fact, what is the word? Siri, please give me a word to do. Alexa, give me words to describe this session. Fantastic, mind blowing, expository.
Oh,
Woo! Knowledge. Oh, wow. Wisdom, they fool your head. Oil is on your head. Ah, let me not turn it to prayer session because I want to pray for you now. God will reward the work of your hands. And
Amen.
thank you for doing this because it's not easy to actually dedicate the knowledge you have, that the things you've labored, the knowledge you've labored to get over the years, you're now dishing it out to people for free just to help them. I hope they are able to take advantage of this. Guys, I appreciate Janet in the comment section. I'm going to put her email address in the description box so that you can, email her, and take advantage of the services she provides. And if you have any question, drop in the comment section. The only way that you will show that you appreciate her is by liking this video, is by sharing this video, dropping a
Yes,
comment to
please.
appreciate her, and going to subscribe to her channel and let her know that I'm from Couscous. That way she know that okay, it was not just in vain. Please.
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much. You've been
Thank
amazing
you.
today. You've been
Thank you for
amazing.
having me.
All right, we're going to bring this video to a close. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Check around the channel. You will see other videos that will help you. And of course, I'll bring other videos to you. So subscribe and turn on post notifications so you won't miss any video. I will stop talking now because we have been talking for a while. So thank you so much, Janet. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Woo!